Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beautiful day today, the 16th of August. A question that I have been receiving in my inbox is, Kevin, what are the hopes in Supreme Court if Raila Amolo Odinga decides to challenge the legitimacy of the results? This is coming after 4 commissioners distanced themselves from the results that Wafula Chebukati read yesterday. Raila Odinga made first press appearance and came out publicly to announce the results. I don't know what is your thoughts on decision by Raila Odinga to head to Supreme Court. I think for people who follow this channel, I was the first person that shared that intelligence to you that Azimio are heading to Supreme Court before even that announcement was made. So when it came for me, it was not a shock. If it was not new, if you've been following this channel. I got this message today and I just want to read it to some of you, and this is just for you to comprehend. Oduor Koome in Facebook is saying, he's coming back to us after many years away. We released him too young, vibrant and eloquent, but you've brought him back, an old man from Bondo, in quote Muganga, with a heavy tongue, defeated with eyes eternally dripping tears and empty-handed. We gave him out as the best we would find around here, one who, had we known, would have kept around here to look after our affairs. He was a good son. That Amolo you people mocked was a good son. I don't get it. But see who you have brought us back. Well, he's ours and we'll build him a house by the shore. I was strong, but that message broke me down. And he was referring to the young people from Nyanza that had descended on Raila Odinga after it emerged that results were not favoring him. Back to what I was here to discuss. The 4 commissioners talked passionately about the lack of inclusivity in verification process of the results. And when they were giving that press briefing, they were saying that they only knew about what was going on. They were only being given forms to go and read, but the process, according to them, was opaque, notwithstanding the figures that were given that I think are goofed off. If you're a lawyer and you're listening to this analysis, I know now the next phase of this is now a presidential petition. Wafula Chebukati, who is the chairman of the commission, is the presidential returning officer, just like the returning officer for the member of parliament is the RO, and the county one is the county returning officer. Does the presidential returning officer, or rather does the chairman, have monopoly over the other commissioners? And why did the Constitution envision a threshold of 7 members of a commission? So that the commission must have 7 members. Or plainly, Mutai Ngugi is asking a question. Is the commission chairman or is the commission commissioners? One thing I understand is there are those who do administrative work, that is the secretariat, and those who do the policy and the operations work, which is now the commission. So the commission is the one that does the policies and some other aspects that done. But the day-to-day activity, the person that pays the staff of IBC is the secretariat that is led by Marjan Hussein. Now, what is the quorum of the commission? Because according to them, that Wafula Chebukati did not involve them, and they wanted up to last minute to have an engagement with the commission, or rather with the chairman, but it didn't. So the question here is this: if the chairman did not declare president-elect, or in terms of failure of the commission, do the chairman carry blame alone, or it's cumulative. It's inclusive. That is something that you can help us understand. Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta planted the 4 commissioners to checkmate on Wafula Chebukati. And the core, after they realized that the commission was a bit infiltrated. This is key because both Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta knew very well that that commission, as the way it was constituted in 2017, after some commissioners left and Wafula Chebukati remained there, President Uhuru Kenyatta knew very well that, of course, it is a commission that is infiltrated. And what they did, they brought in the 4 commissioners. These commissioners that were protesting were actually sworn in last year, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around September. So what are we dealing with? When things went digital, these commissioners were in the dark. They didn't know what is happening, whatever was going on. And as the case goes to Supreme Court, I have a feeling of the 3 R's at the stake. Are we going for returning, recounting, or rerun? Now, these 3 R's, both, even if you go to a rerun, we still have a recounting and retelling. But are we recounting or retelling? Or rather, we can ask, what do you think the Supreme Court should order? Should they order a rerun, retelling, or recounting? There have been conversations about some polling stations uploaded more than one form because the person who uploaded could not delete. Some forms were misplaced. In a constituency, form 34B of constituency X was for another constituency. So all this has been here. But I don't know why. And the other thing is the hacking evidence. It's a very technical evidence that I really don't know whether it shall make its way in the Supreme Court, or rather the judges will be in a position to use it to make sound judgment. That is just a bit of it. But guys, I don't want us to forget, because it's also disheartening that we lost the Embakasi East returning officer. His lifeless body was found somewhere in Loitoktok, Kajiado County. And it's so unfortunate that during this election process, it has become a tradition in the Kenyan election cycle that we must lose someone. So we continue to send condolences to the family. May God grant them serenity and peace during this trying moment. It was so unfortunate. Now, one thing, there are some few aspects that will decide the fate of Raila Odinga and Deputy President William Ruto in Supreme Court. It will need high intelligence, because every decision that is being made here must be well informed. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel. I want to remind us, 2 days to the end of Sarah Atieno's challenge. I think we are ending on Thursday. 50 shillings donation. Kindly reach out. Sarah Atieno is a subscriber here in this channel. She's suffering acute leukemia in Kenyatta University, in Kenyatta Hospital. I think I've mentioned until now, I even forget. And the medical bill accrued inflated to 1 million. And she reached out for support, and being that she's a subscriber here, after reaching out, I decided why not. So we started a 50 shillings, at least 50 shillings donation through my number 0710 62 78 89. I want to collect it as Team Bold, but I also continue to encourage those who have more than 50 shillings. You can reach out directly to Sarah. Her number is 07 16 357 360. Sarah Atieno, and God will bless you. Before any decision is made in Supreme Court, because a decision of a rerun, let's just talk of a decision of a rerun will depend on one thing. Do the public have the goodwill and psychologically prepared to go and vote again? With all that disappointment. And today I tried to talk to people. In fact, even tomorrow I'll try to talk to some few people and just ask, if you go for a rerun, will you vote? Will you participate? That's a question. I have seen social media and even people who support trial have said that, look here, I think he has tried his best, he has fought a good race, but let him leave it to William Ruto. While others have also believed that it's his time to pursue justice. because justice is a process. So this will depend, because are Kenyans really going for the rerun? Do we even have a budget? I will not be shocked to see a hashtag running that we don't have a budget for rerun. And if a rerun is going to cost us much, someone will campaign and say, if we don't go for rerun, that money can go to, and you don't remember our economy. So there are a lot of stakes that will come into this. But then, you also need to ask yourself a question. If the election is nullified, and we are supposed to go for a rerun, will the verdict set the stage for the commission, set the stage for commission reforms? Will someone accept, would Raila Odinga accept to go to that rerun if the commission is not, if the reforms are not done in the commission? I remember this one in 2017, Raila withdrew from the race, saying that those elections officials had committed offenses and they needed to have been arrested. And even listened to Raila Odinga's chief agent saying that the commission, Bomas crime scene and some of those election officials ought to have been arrested. So in any decision that you make, if you nullify the election, nullification of the election will mean that the commission is liable for the mess. So this time round, I think if the Supreme Court is going to nullify, they must pinpoint specific offenses to specific personnel within the commission. And if that is the way, it might set a stage for commission reforms. And I want to agree with the people who say that it should not be just as simple as going to nullify. Then that one, there is no need. It should be specific personnel. People who broke the law, or people who did mischievous things, should be led personally liable for whatever this country is going to. But you also have to ask yourself, because this is a process, do we have the budget for the Supreme Court case? And the budget in this case is also means that, I remember, I think indeed someone is saying that when Raila goes to Supreme Court, William Ruto is already 2 steps ahead. Then someone was asking him in the comment section, what do you mean? He can infiltrate. The political sides are going to infiltrate the judges. So, and that is why I'm talking of a budget. If you understand that language of a budget, you understand that there is need to be a lot of resources that are going to put into that. The resources even to pay the lawyers that are going to represent the Azimio la Umoja in Supreme Court. People have always thought it's free. It's never free. There is only going to be the cost of the case. And there is also going to be a lot of work that is done offline, leave alone the court. There is a lot of work that will be done outside to try just to make sure that the case gains momentum. So there is a lot that comes into it. Lastly, there is a wild suggestion here that Ruto might, let me say President-elect William Samoei Ruto, might have secret negotiations with the deep state or with President Uhuru Kenyatta to influence that case so that power can be handed over to him. And so the point here is, will Azimio la Umoja go to Supreme Court as a united front? Or there is another wing that will be Supreme Court, while there is another wing that will be negotiating in the boardroom. So these are things that are going to help, because if there are some few indicators. Many people have looked at the merit of the case on that, but on me, there is high intelligence that will have to come into play for any verdict to be made. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my bold statement, and of course, I'll be back with the next.